Hello and welcome to this film about where we're going to learn to understand what we need to do for each of the 5 questions on the AQA reading and writing non-fiction exam paper, and then we'll learning to explain how writers use language and presentation for effect, although I might go on to a separate film for that. Right. In my class, so far we've learnt the following. Question 1 is going to ask you to find information really quickly. Question 2 is going to ask you to find and explain information. Question 3 goes further. You have to find, explain and interpret the information. So basically questions 1 and 2 and 3 are about what the texts mean, what the content is, what they're about, what they are suggesting. Next questions 4 and 5 are different. Question 4 asks you how does the writer use language to achieve various effects, and question 5 asks you to look at presentation and will also ask you to compare texts. So this, rather than what do the texts mean, this looks at how are the texts written, how are they produced. It's more about style rather than content. Right, if we focus on question 4 for the rest of this film, then how does the writer use language? Loads of things they could ask you. How does the writer use language to persuade the reader, to describe, to create a child's perspective? How does the writer use language to shock the reader, to argue their point of view, to advise the reader, to inform? Basically, it'll ask you, how does the writer use language to achieve some sort of purpose, to achieve some effect? This is a sample answer from the sample question, from the past. How does the writer use language to make the leaflet informative and shocking to the reader? And it gave you a bit of space to write about how it was informative, and then it gave you some more space to write about how it was shocking. This was the text. It's from a specimen paper from AQA, and it was about children and adults living on rubbish dumps in Cambodia, I think it is, and making their living that way. There's a sort of persuasive text, a charity text. There's the text itself. To answer this question, what you need to be able to do is to know what techniques writers can use, to have a range of techniques available to you, and to know why they use them. So it's the what and the why. To help you with that, we've got this sheet, putting it as precisely as possible, originally made by Claire Gadsby and updated for this year. And at the top box, you've got these techniques here, which is the what. So it's a bunch of language techniques that writers might use. I'm not saying they do use them all in this text, but these are the sort of things you need to know. And then you've got the why. What's their precise effect on the reader? So some examples of the what is things like they might use describing words, imagery, repetition, emotive language, strong verbs, etc., etc. And the why, you might say that the use of, for example, I don't know, imagery or emotive language in a particular case lodges the idea in the reader's mind, or perhaps the use of that technique creates suspicion, or is very moving, or is memorable. So this gives you the language that you need to explain why the techniques are used precisely. So it's exactly what you need to answer this type of question. How does the writer use language? Right, so that's probably all I've got time for in this film. I would suggest though that you use this sheet. I'll make it available for you from school, or I'll link it to the bottom of this film on YouTube. Use this sheet to learn all the whats and learn as many of the different ways of explaining why that you can. Okay, great.
What was that?